You know what? A good story is a good story, but you need some result from it. You need
Mm-hmm.
something that happens. Just like a love story, I read plenty of love stories that were just a love story. And it was
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
instantaneous. And love doesn't happen that way.
Right.
At least in my opinion and in my
Right.
experience, love doesn't just happen. You don't just fall head over heels the first time you see somebody and that's like you would give up your life for them.
Hello, and welcome to Story Power, a bi monthly podcast I created because I'm an unabashed story lover. Stories have had a huge impact on my life, starting with the family movie night discussions my parents instituted when I was a child. I want to share that love with you. As cognitive scientist Roger C. Shanks says, humans are not ideally set up to understand logic. They are ideally set up to understand stories. I'm making it my mission to not only spread the love of stories, but all the valuable things they teach us about human nature and relationships. We humans are emotional creatures, and stories help us examine our emotions from a comfortable distance. They also help us walk in the shoes of the characters to help us see the world in new ways. It's my hope you gain some valuable insights from my guests.
Today I'm talking to Diane Merrill Wigginton. Or do you
Mhm.
just go by Diane Wigginton now?
Uh, it just depends. I go by Diane Wigginton with everyone else, but when it's my professional book, it's Diane Merrill.
Ah,
Yeah.
and I read two of your latest books. One, the romance. Yeah, a compromising position, which won awards.
10,
And
10
10
awards.
awards. Wow, 10
Yes.
awards.
I know.
A-
Huge.
And and so I kind of like your romances because you don't have just plain romance. It's the character of Catherine Lawrence is the political what do you call campaign manager for the gubernatorial candidate in Florida. So we get to see a lot of her work as well as the romance with her next door neighbor who happens to be an Australian, and his name is Jake Ryan. And then I cannot remember the name of the guy she works for. She's been friends with he and his wife since college, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah,
So it's
what's his
Russell Townsman,
Russell Townsend, and what's his wife's name?
Angela.
Oh, that's right. And you started with an A, but I didn't think Amanda was right.
No.
Angela, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's nefarious activities going on, not among those three during the campaign, but other people.
Yeah.
And Jake helps Catherine with her. She's had an issue, and I think this is really interesting the way you wrote that, where she was raised by her grandmother, and but when her grandmother was dying, she wanted Catherine to plot out the next few years of her life, and she followed that to the letter. I guess I'm a little bit rebellious. I would have said, "Well, thank you, Grandma, but I want to, steer my own ship." But
Yeah.
she loved her so much. She loved her
Yeah.
grandmother so much.
Yeah.
So,
It was kind of a way of her honoring her grandmother
mhm,
to follow the plan,
yeah,
I think, and she got stuck in that. And she put up a bunch of walls, and that's part of her character. She puts up these walls to protect herself because she had so much loss.
right.
And so
Yeah.
I think Jake helps bring down those walls. And
Yes.
I just love the characters when you have characters that have issues and the other character helps alleviate those issues
Right.
and tear down
Yeah.
walls and tear down, expectations.
Yeah. And maybe, I mean, we were not privy to those conversations between um Catherine and her grandmother. Maybe her grandmother didn't want her to totally forgo love and partnership and relationships, but that might be how Catherine interpreted it.
I think Catherine felt that she was grieving the
Yeah,
loss of, everybody. And
right.
so she was by herself and she felt that this was her way of honoring her grandmother and how she grieved. And it helped her process everything. And when she no longer needed to process that,
Mm-hmm.
she let go. She
Yeah,
let go of all those expectations of what her grandmother wanted her to do. And
yeah.
so, yeah, she moved on.
And I like that there was this nagging feeling as she's helping her friend Russell become governor, that she has this kind of nagging feeling that something's not quite right, or she's missing something.
Yes.
But it's very subtle, and so it takes her a while to kind of acknowledge that. Yeah. Now, we have a college friend who's from Australia. He lives in Adelaide with his family. Well, his children are grown now, but he and his wife still live in the same house. That it's a family house.
Uh-huh.
And so it was just lovely visiting there. Did you go to Australia?
I've never been. I did a lot of research.
Uh-huh.
I'd love to
Hmm.
go someday, except for the plane trip. I'm just not, I wanted to go and it was on the schedule, but the plane trip was so long and I
Yeah.
just didn't think I could do it.
Yeah, it's about what, 16 hours or something? I
Yeah,
can't remember.
it's literally, you would, with plane transfers and everything, it'd be like 24 hours,
Yeah.
something like that. But
Yeah.
one day,
Someday, yeah.
yes.
Well, you could do a stop off at an island or something. Like go to Hawaii and then go to Australia.
Yeah.
Something like
I
that.
don't mind traveling. I like traveling. So,
Yeah. Well, and the story doesn't really take place in Australia except for the last like epilogue or something like that.
yeah.
So you don't really need to know a whole lot about Australia. So yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful place. Beautiful place.
Well, I wrote a book about the Irish famine and
Oh,
descriptive and all that. And I'd never been to Ireland.
uh-huh.
I just did a lot of research, but I have since been to Ireland and Scotland, which
Oh.
I just loved that trip. It was fabulous. So
Hmm.
I think I was spot on.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there are lots of videos and pictures and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
mean, when you're there, there's a specific, or at least this is how it is for me. When I'm in a location, I have a specific feeling about the place. But you can kind of get that from videos and pictures and stuff like that. So,
Imagination.
yeah,
Imagination.
right. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so now your latest book is The Magician Killer,
Yes.
and it's a mystery, and is it the first mystery that you've written?
It's really the first total thriller
Mm-hmm.
mystery um, about the two FBI agents tracking down a serial killer in Alaska.
Yes.
And the one FBI agent, Samantha, um, Samantha is um, Samantha Stevens. She has a connection to this killer
Mm-hmm.
that she doesn't realize until she gets into the case. And
Because she
she
suppressed
was,
her.
yes, she was dealing with a lot of trauma in
Yeah.
her life. And so she became very robotic in her attitude towards life and people, and she didn't like being called the robot.
Right.
And so, some of this is her journey from trauma to reconcile that trauma and to grow. It helped her grow. And so
Yeah.
I just really, and again, I have a character in there, her her new partner that she didn't know anything about, Nicholas, and he helps her break down those walls
Yeah.
and helps her become less robotic, more human.
Right.
I
love the way he supports her.
Yeah.
Because she's a profiler, so that's why he wanted her, because he started noticing he's in Seattle, and he started to notice these patterns. And I'm wondering, is Seattle part of the his jurisdiction? Is that how it all happened?
Well, I just kind of put Seattle because it's closer to Alaska than DC.
Yes, right. Yeah,
and so,
yeah.
And she closes a lot of cold cases. She's
Right.
basically, she's been out of the field for years, and she's closing all these cases, and she's doing all of this work, and she closes herself off to people. And so this was her way of getting back to, I don't know, humanity.
Yes.
And her humanity, finding her humanity. And
except for her one friend. What is her friend's name again? I just read it last week.
Thea.
Oh yeah, Thea. Right.
Thea. Yeah. Thea's her one friend. And Thea is just a great character. And I think I intend to do another book and maybe make this a series, but I want to focus on Thea next. Well, Sam will be the investigator, and so will Nicholas. But I think it's going to involve Thea, and she's going to get more involved in the case. And I'm thinking of doing it in New Orleans, the setting, which would be a great thing. But I really want to visit New Orleans.
Yes.
Because I think it would be very intricate. I've seen shows with New Orleans, and I think I really would have to get a flair or a taste for the flair of the place, because it's very specific. Let's just say the bayous and all that would be very specific. And so I would need to go there. At least that's what I'm saying to my husband. We would need to visit the place. I need to do research.
That's right. That's right. Well, and I love Officer Murphy and the way.
Oh yes.
He's the dog who is finds cadavers and drugs, right?
Yes. He's got a great sniffer.
Yeah. And I love the way Sam is afraid of him. She's afraid of dogs, period. And she tells the story about why. But Sam, it's like Sam just likes her from the very beginning. I mean, Murphy just likes her from the very beginning and goes and sits by her feet and, all this. And she's like, what is, what's going on here?
Yeah. I gave him a lot of humanistic attributes, I think. And, that came from real life, because I had a German Shepherd who was very humanistic. I mean, he literally would listen to what I said and do it. And he seemed to understand situations or what was going on or how you were feeling. I remember one time my husband left and he was gone for, I don't know, a few days. And I was feeling a little nervous about being in the house by myself with the kids. And Harley never left his washroom at night, but he came and he checked on me. He came to my bedroom door and he sat there, and then I invited him in and I let him sleep by the opened window or screen door. And he sat there all night and he never came into our bedroom. He always stayed in the kitchen or the laundry room or outside. And that was just, you know, animals sense things, animals understand.
Yeah.
And Sam's fear of dogs came from my real life experience. So
Oh.
that story was a true story.
Oh,
That was
wow.
that was my story.
Yeah.
My neighbor had this great, huge Doberman pincer, and it would get loose. And one day, my brother and I were coming through the field up to our house, and this dog came running down the hill towards us. And my brother stepped out of the way, and I froze. I just froze, and the dog got in my face, and I had to sit there until he got back with the owner of that dog, with that dog in my face. And
Oh,
so
wow.
to this day, I'm still afraid of Doberman pincers um, because of that dog. But I love animals and I love dogs, so I'm not really afraid of dogs, but certain dogs I am still kind of petrified of. So
Yeah. Yes.
a little
Oh,
trivia there. There you go.
yeah, that's really scary. Well, I have to tell you that when I first started reading The Magician Killer, I was creeped out at the very beginning, and I said, "Oh, I think she's gonna have a hit on her hands here."
There you go.
I am. I read mysteries, but I read more cozy ones. I'm not into the. Well, this one doesn't have blood and gore, but it does have the thriller part of it. Is you have to figure out, oh, who is the guy and what's he up to next with
Uh-huh.
along with Sam as she's figuring Sam and Nick as they're figuring that out.
Yeah.
And the pattern of his uh murders that I loved that scene when they get to the sheriff's office that first or second day, and uh, they ask for them to give them the report of all the missing women from certain date to a certain date till the present. And it's this huge pile, and they go through it and they start uh, putting out the timeline with some gaps, of course. But yeah, and then when Nick notices that, spoiler alert, Nick notices that the women, all the victims look like Sam. He's like, okay, what's up with this?
Yeah.
And has to get her. I liked it that she told her story, or well, she starts to put it together because I think she suppressed the memories, and the more information they get, and the more she's profiling, she's starting to remember what happened to her, and then when she tells him the story of at least as much as she remembers at that point. I liked that it wasn't dragged out until late in the book. I was glad that she told Nick earlier. Well, it's kind of like a third or maybe a quarter of the way through the book. I liked that she told him, and then he had her back. I liked that he had her back because
Yeah.
she would have been taken off the case, which, in my logical mind, which doesn't work very often, but I have this thing about plot and how things should go, and uh in my mind, and I'm thinking, if they took her off the case, they would probably never find this guy, because
Yeah.
there are certain things that, as the case goes along, she remembers that are vital to finding him. And nobody else knows that except for the women who are dead. So, yeah, they needed her. They needed her there.
They did. Did you like the character Jameson Scott?
I wanted to punch him in the face at first. Because when she says, it was only really kind of implied that there were improprieties when he was her mentor, and I'm like, whap whap
There
whap.
you go.
But he turned out to be a good guy in the end. But yeah,
He kind of redeemed himself, didn't he?
he did. Yeah, because when he found out that she knew more about the case, he had her back too.
Yeah.
He was never going to tell her boss. I didn't like her boss.
No. Well, you got to have the good old boys club there, and that's in the FBI. And
Right.
so that's
Yeah.
kind of where I was writing from. He's kind of one of those good old boys that just kind of doles out the orders and
Mm-hmm.
move along. But, he kind of, I think in the end, he kind of respected her more.
Right.
And I
Because
think,
they
yeah,
caught the
gave her
guy.
a little more leeway, and he was a little more compassionate about
Mm-hmm.
her situation. I thought that was a growth,
For
going
him.
forward. I like all my characters to grow some,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
and change.
Yeah, I mean, I listen sometimes to these people analyzing books that they've read, and this one woman had a stack of 3 or 4 or 5 books that she read that she just didn't like at all, and one of them was The Mists of Avalon, which I love that whole series, but I read it in the 80s, I think, or 90s. And she said, I didn't like this book because the characters don't grow. And I went, I never thought of that when I was reading it.
Yep.
For me, because I was really into the Arthurian myth at that time. So I was reading a lot of books about the Arthurian myth. Uh, so like the Mary Stuart books and the who I don't know who wrote Taliesin and that series. Um, Yeah, so I was reading a lot about King Arthur. Uh, so I didn't notice it, I guess. But I
Yeah.
thought that was interesting because I'm like that too. I don't like it if characters don't grow and change. It's not, why write the story?
You know what? A good story is a good story, but you need some result from it. You need
Mm-hmm.
something that happens, just like a love story. I read plenty of love stories that were just a love story, and it was
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
instantaneous. And love doesn't happen that way.
Right.
At least in my opinion and in my
Right.
experience, love doesn't just happen. You don't just fall head over heels the first time you see somebody, and that's like you would give up your life for them. I think it's a gradual thing, and that's why I like my characters, because it's not an instant thing. Even with a compromising position, she was not in love with him at first.
Mm-mm.
She, no, it was like he grew on her, and then she
Mm-hmm.
saw things, and they helped each other, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um I like that. That is not love at first sight. It has to
Right.
be something more, and it has to be something more than just a love story. I
Right.
like I like something that really catches you and you're turning pages. I'm working on one now. So it's kind of a love triangle,
Mm-hmm.
and every chapter is really short, like maybe 3 to 4 pages long, and every chapter ends on a cliffhanger. And it's just one thing after another, and it just keeps going. And then, there's a couple of things that happen, and you're like, whoa, didn't see that coming. So I'm really excited about this next one. I don't really have a title. The working title was The Duke's Lady is a Spy, but I'm not sure if I'm going with that, because I've got a couple other titles, like um what do you call it? The Lion, the Dagger, no, the Lion, the Blade, and a King. So I don't know.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
So my son says that sounds too much like, the lion, the wardrobe, and a
The Witch in
witch.
the Wardrobe. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know, but it's nothing like that. It's not a kid's
Fantasy.
novel.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. I might have
Yeah.
to get some beta readers and have them help me with the title, because I'm just struggling with this one.
Yes, with the title. Yeah,
Yeah.
the title for my first novel, it did not come to me until I was almost finished with it. And then I was driving home from teaching acting class at the college one evening, and I'm listening to the Beatles, and it came out of a Beatles song. The title
Oh,
for
I
the
love
book
that.
came out
I
of a
love that.
Beatles song. And it was like I had never really listened to the lyrics of that song before. And but it was nighttime, and I was we live in Arizona, so in the country, so I was looking up at the stars because you can really see them. And then the lyrics to that song just popped out at me and went, "Oh, that's it. That's it." So,
That's the song.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll probably come to you somehow.
Oh, yeah.
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 Now I want to go back to The Magician Killer. How long has it been out?
Okay, so it came out May
Oh,
2025. So
uh-huh.
it's just come out.
Mm-hmm.
It's entered in a couple of contests.
Mm-hmm.
So we find out at the end of this year and the beginning of next year if it's won anything. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
fingers crossed
Yeah.
that, but it's gotten some really good buzz,
Mm-hmm.
really positive stuff. So I'm just thrilled.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Because I was like, "Oh, this is really creepy and people are gonna love it."
Yeah. I had a friend that read it and she goes, well, maybe don't put that first chapter as the first chapter. And I thought,
Oh
okay,
no.
well, maybe. And so I switched the first and the second chapter. And when I was reading it through a couple of times, I'm like, no, she's
Yeah.
wrong. We have to have the creepy chapter first,
Mm-hmm.
and then we introduce Sam. We have
Mm-hmm.
to introduce the killer first, and then Sam, the FBI person who's going to come along and catch him.
Right.
So, her advice didn't quite work out the way, and I really value her opinion, but in this instance, my instincts were correct.
Mm-hmm.
And so I switched it back around last minute before I published, and I'm just glad I did.
Yeah, because I mean, it captures you right away.
Yes, exactly.
And you wouldn't, well, it's not that you're not captured by the second chapter, but you're captured by the second chapter because you know that somehow she's going to catch this guy.
Mhm.
And yeah, because she's sent off from Washington, D.C. to Seattle, and she's like, oh, I don't want to go to Seattle.
I don't want to go to Alaska,
Alaska,
where
because
I grew up.
yeah, she knew she knows she's gonna have to go to Alaska, end up in Alaska. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, and yeah, I liked the sheriff or the chief
the
at
chief. Yeah.
yeah, I've forgotten his name now too. But I liked him a lot because it wasn't this competition between him and the FBI. He was there to support them, and he was like, I know I'm out of my depth trying to find this guy. I'm gonna support you, but I'm gonna let you do the
Heavy
work.
lifting. Yes, the heavy lifting.
Yes, yes. And so I liked that because sometimes I liked it that they weren't at odds with each other, because a lot of times in shows and television and movies and
Oh
books
yeah,
they are. It's like a, I don't want
a
to say it.
battle.
A battle. There you go.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was going to say some sort of a contest, but I didn't want to use that word.
yeah. I wanted him to be a supporting actor in quote
Mhm.
unquote. I didn't want him to be the conflict, because there was enough conflict going on that
Mhm.
he was just there to support and
Mhm.
assist and help out in his way.
Mhm.
But he does get a little fiery at one
Mhm.
point, and he does show his temper. And
Mhm.
I kind of like that he had a backbone, that you know,
Mhm.
but he was there to help, because it benefited him not to have a serial killer on his streets.
Right.
Bad for business. Bad for
Yeah.
business. So.
Yeah, and in the summertime, there's a lot of tourist activity, I imagine, in Alaska. I mean, I was in Alaska in the summer. I wasn't a tourist. I was doing some like church kind of service corps kind of work, you know.
Okay.
It was called service corps. It was like uh the Peace Corps kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was doing that, but it was, yeah, there were a lot of tourists there. And that was way back in the 70s. I imagine there's more tourists
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. And it's gorgeous.
It
Gorgeous.
is. I love Alaska.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you've got a new book that you're working on. And then after you finish the romance that you're working on now, you're going to go try to write the sequel to The Magician Killer.
I am, but I'm also writing a sequel to my children's book.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, tell about your children's book.
Okay, so my children's book is called The Secret of One-Eyed Cogburn, the Dreaded Pirate Captain.
Oh, right, I forgot.
So, yeah, that one's great. It's won 3 awards. So 3 best friends have this adventure, and they run into a pirate and his crew.
Oh.
And so they learn his secret, and they keep his secret, and they all pinky swear. And so they all pinky swear. I love that part.
Yeah.
Something my grandkids would do. They pinky swear. So the pirate rewards them all in the end, and for keeping his secret. So it's just the artist that I found to illustrate the book. Well, he's fabulous. He did everything by hand. So every picture is literally a piece of artwork.
Oh,
and
that's
so
cool.
Yeah, it took me 10 years to find him. Yeah, I wrote the book years and years ago, and then it took 10 years to find him, and it took about a year, over a year, to illustrate the book and get it all together. And then I put it out. So
that's cool. That's fun. I love it. Okay, so you already have like a stack of books ready to work on when.
Yeah.
Finish one. I know which I'm working on next. Finish that. I know what I'm working on next.
Well,
That's
and then
cool.
of course, I had this thought going through my head the last since yesterday about a book. I was thinking that it would be interesting to have a book that followed a love story that went through generations. So
Oh.
they, starting with the Viking,
Uh-huh.
2 people come together and they fall in love and they pledge their love for eternity, and then one dies.
Oh.
And then we go to pirate times,
Uh-huh.
and they find each other. One's a pirate captain, the other and she's also a pirate captain.
Uh-huh.
And they find each other, and it's instant love because somehow they recognize something in each other. And so that picks up, and then somehow he dies. Generations of this, they keep finding each other. These 2 souls keep finding each other.
That's really cool.
So I'm thinking, I think I have something.
You've got, man, that's just like your job. I have so many disparate kinds of projects, but I am finishing finally my second novel that goes with my first one. And
That's so cool.
Yeah. And then I joined Prolific Writers Life. So I have some people there who can beta read it. And I have another podcast guest who's a ghostwriter who can read it.
That's good, because we need beta readers to give their opinion. On the Magician Killer, I had beta readers, and it wasn't, there was one that just really hated it, really hated the story. And then 2 kind of liked it, but there was, some plot holes. And so that was really helpful for myself and for my editor to go back and fix those issues that the other two people who gave me really solid opinions.
Mm-hmm.
The one that just, totally hated it, that was not helpful. So, I got
Right.
nothing from that one. But the
Right.
other two, so I did go back and make a few changes before we went to publication. So
Good.
beta readers are fabulous.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, it really improved the book with their suggestions, and they're reading it and give me their advice. So,
Yeah. Wow, that's so cool. Do you have anything else you want to say before we go?
no, I'm just really glad you enjoyed the books.
I did. I did. So I'm going to post this on more than one place,
Uh-huh.
like on LinkedIn and Patreon and um, probably on Facebook and some other places. And then what I might do is just save it for next year when I have a slot and put it there
Fabulous.
too. Yeah.
Yes. Just so you know, The Magician Killer is going to be out in audiobook really soon. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
And I found a really good voice person, really
Oh,
good. So he
cool.
really makes it great.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because I tried to do mine, but it has people with dialects.
Yes.
And I could have done it, I suppose, but it just takes so much time. And I have so many other projects. So at some
I
point,
understand that.
I'll probably get somebody to do mine when
Yeah.
both books come out. So, because we're going to market them together, I'm going to relook at the first one and maybe do some editing and then market them together.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Well, thanks for talking to me. I appreciate
Oh,
it.
absolutely.
So go read Diane Wigginton's books. Oh, and don't forget to say Diane Merrill Wigginton when you're looking for the books because she's got a lot of them, and you can just sit by the pool until fall and and read
Absolutely.
them.
And then sit by the fireplace.
That's right. Sit by the fireplace. Yes. You can
Have enough.
save the
Yeah.
magician killer for October when it's
Woo! Yes.
Halloween because it is a little creepy.
It is a little creepy.
But some people really love that, and that's
Well,
great.
it's not a Stephen, what is
King.
it? The guy that
Stephen
writes
King?
the Stephen King. It's not a Stephen King,
No.
but it's still a little out there. Different
Yeah.
from my other books. Definitely different from
Yes.
my other books.
Well, I hope you win some awards.
Thank you. Thank you. Fingers crossed.
Yes. Okay, well, talk to you soon, hopefully.
Thank you.
I hope you not only enjoyed this episode, but gained something valuable to take away with you. If you like what you heard, please share it with your friends and give us a rating and or review. If you're a story lover too, I invite you to join my Patreon community at patreon.com/storypower, all one word. Or you might be interested in classic cinema with the Sage Sisters, a YouTube channel and Facebook page I started with my sister Celeste, where we choose one classic movie that we think still has lessons for us today. As you can see, I'm passionate about spreading the love of stories and completely believe what Philip Pullman said. After nourishment, shelter, and companionship, stories are the thing we need most in the world. Until next time, this is Lucinda Sage-Midgorden. Thanks for listening.